So we've talked about foiling and we've talked about the opposite of foiling. The opposite is, well, first of all, when you're foiling something, you're combining two polynomials into one. When you're doing the opposite of foiling, we're breaking down the polynomial into two of them. Okay, so that's what factoring is. So the question is how to factor. Okay, so when we see factor, we're thinking the opposite of foiling. How would you factor x? Let's make it 9x squared minus 4. Okay, so let's try this. Step 1 is to set up your factors. So we're going to have x and x, right? But here we have 9x squared. So x and x times will give us x squared, but we're looking for 9x squared. So I'm going to put in a 3, because 3 times 3 is 9. Neat, right? Okay, so because we have no middle term, we don't have an x term, that tells me one of these signs is going to be a positive and the other will be a negative. Okay, again, because there's no x term, just the x squared term and a constant term. Okay, now we need to look for two numbers. This is step 2. What two numbers multiply to get negative 4 and add to get 0? Okay, no middle term. That's why we're looking for 0. So you've got 3x plus something and 3x minus something. Okay, now we need to fill in the blank here. Two numbers that multiply to get 4. Let's go with a 2. Okay. So as you can see, we have positive 2 times negative 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Positive times negative gives us negative. Okay. And then also, plus 2 minus 2 gives us 0. Positive 2 plus negative 2 gives us 0. Okay. Remember, step 3 is to check our work. So let's multiply that out by foiling. 3x times 3x. 3x times negative 2. 2 times 3x. 2 times negative 2. Here goes. 3x times 3x is 9x squared. Okay. 3x times 2 is 6x. Positive times negative is negative. Two times 3x is 6x. Positive times positive is positive. 2 times 2 is 4. Positive times negative is negative. Whew. I'm exhausted. Okay, so combine like terms. We have 9x squared. Combine like terms, negative 6x plus 6x is 0. So I'm not even going to bother writing 0x. So what we have now is just minus 4. Okay, 9x squared minus 4. Hey, there it is. We nailed it. So we factor it. This is our answer here. Okay, right there. 3x plus 2 and 3x minus 2. Okay. We're on the roll, so let's keep going. The next question states how to find the solution set. This is an oddball here. Solution set for x squared plus 5x minus 14. Okay? In other words, what does x have to be for the left side of the equation to equal the right side of the equation? Okay? We're going to find out what x is so that the left side will equal 0. So what you're going to do is factor, there's that factor word again. Okay, we're going to do the opposite of foiling. Okay, so we're going to break that polynomial down into two pieces. So this is, I'm going to set it up like that. Equals 0. Okay? Now, because there is a middle term here, see how there's an x term as opposed to no x term there? It's not going to be plus and a minus. Sorry, scratch that. We need to figure out, this is an interesting scenario where we need to find out two numbers that multiply to get negative 14 and add to get positive 5. This is a hard one. So, the best we can do is try it, okay? So what two numbers multiply to get negative 14? First number that comes to mind is 7 and 2. Okay, so I'm just going to roll with that. 7 and 2. Now, we don't know the signs yet. Okay, but we will. They need to multiply to get negative 14. So the only way you can get that is by one of these being plus and the other one being minus. Okay, so here 7 times 2 is 14. Positive times negative is negative. Okay, let's check to see if they add up to get positive 5. 7 minus 2 is positive 5. Got lucky there, guys. Okay, now to get, remember to solve for x, we need to do this. You're going to set x plus 7 equals 0, and then x minus 2 equals 0. The reason we did that is because one of these guys have to be 0, because anything times 0 is 0. Okay? So, let's get x by itself. Subtract 7 from both sides. X is equal to negative 7. And here we'll add 2 to both sides. So x equals positive 2. Those are hopefully our answers. Let's check to make sure. Put negative 7 in for x. So we'll have negative 7 squared plus 5 times negative 7 minus 14 equals 0. Does it equal 0? Okay, so 7 squared is 49. Negative times negative is positive. Okay, so watch this. 5 times 7 is 35. Positive times negative is negative. Minus 14. Does it equal to 0? Okay, 49 minus 35 is 14. So 14 minus 14, yay, it does equal 0. So this is the correct answer there, negative 7. Now you want to check to make sure, just in case that 2 is also the correct answer, by putting 2 in for x. Okay, so since we're at it here, we'll put 2 in for x. 5 times 2 would equal 0 on the right side. 2 squared is 2 times 2. It's 4. Plus 5 times 2 is 10 minus 14. Okay, does it equal to 0? 4 plus 10 is 14. Minus 14, yay! It does equal 0. So we can conclude that our solution set is -7 and 2.